Oh, hey, Beard, it's your boy Big Beard B, and we back for another edition of Big Beard Business. If you're new to the channel, I'm B, and on this channel, we help you improve your confidence by way of compliments using the wonderful world of fragrance. If this is your second video or more, I ask that you hit the subscribe button because you obviously come back to rock with your boy. As you can see from the title, today we have something special and a video that we never done on this channel yet until today. Yes, today it is going down with Vetiver fragrances for men. Now what I decided to do was hop into my collection and see what are some Vetiver fragrances that I typically am drawn to, see how you guys and girls feel about them. So I've gathered 10 and we'll hop into them. So now that you know what we're doing, let's go ahead and get down to Big Beard business. Generally speaking, when I think of the notes of Vetiver, I think of something that is green, earthy, may have a woody component to it, but more so earthy and green. A bit dry at times, but there are some out there that change it up a bit. And speaking of changing it up a bit, this first fragrance does exactly that. Now this one is a 2020 release and it comes from Mancera, and this one is Vetiver Sensual. Okay, this fragrance to me is nothing like your traditional Vetiver scent, but everything like it all at once. This fragrance opens up with the citrus component to it that is subtle, it's fresh, it's clean, and it's also juicy. As I mentioned, a lot of Vetiver fragrances have that dry component to it, but this one actually is juicy and I really do enjoy it. There's some mint here too that I think comes off super enjoyable. Technically, this one is a unisex fragrance and I think it would work either way, but right out the gate, I think that this one comes off nice, super nice. And then the dry down is where you get that Vetiver. You also get some amber there too to really provide that warmth. And listen, man, try this thing out. Vetiver Sensual from the house of Mancera. Next up on our list, we have a fragrance that really took a lot of people by surprise when it won my 2018 most complimented fragrance list, and I really need to put this one back into the rotation because this thing is really nice in my personal opinion. My man Jay Copeland enjoys this fragrance as well, and this one comes from the house of Creed, and this one is Creed's Vetiver Geranium. All right, Vetiver Geranium to me is really a totally different twist on what Vetiver is supposed to smell like, or what it traditionally smells like. Here you have this freshness to it as well. You have those granny crisp apples within this fragrance, and it just comes off as something that is inviting. It's fresh for sure, it's clean, and it gets the job done. For me, this has good performance all in all, and it's a fragrance that I do recommend to those who are looking to hop into Vetiver and aren't too sure if they enjoy the note. So Vetiver Geranium, listen, I know this is not everyone's thing, but to me, this one is a go. Get your nose on it, definitely one to try. The next fragrance on this list today is a fragrance house that I've come to enjoy, and I went on a buying spree of this house, and I need to go back and buy some more fragrances because I don't have them all, and there's some ones that have stood out according to some of my peers out there that says stand out, so I need to try them and add them to the collection. My guy Dan over the channel Scented Waters put me onto this house, and I dove into this fragrance on my own, and the fragrance is SULTAN Vetiver from the house of NISHANE. All right, so as you guys know, NISHANE has been rocking and banging out some amazing scents, and this one here is a no holds bar fragrance, and if you're looking for a Vetiver scent, then it's alive and well here. To me, SULTAN Vetiver is for the more mature nose. I don't think that this is a beginner's scent. If you are really into Vetiver, then you're likely going to enjoy this one. Now this one comes off a bit different to me because it has some neroli in the top here, and I'm not a huge fan of neroli, but I think it all plays along very well in this scent because that's what they do. Okay, man, SULTAN Vetiver on the list today if you're looking for a standout dominant men's scent, in my personal opinion. As with our last fragrance, if you enjoyed the note of Vetiver, then this next fragrance is likely for you. This one comes from the house of MASQUE MILANO. It's been in my collection for, I don't know, let's call it 2 years, maybe 3 years at this point. And this fragrance is Vetiver on Vetiver on Vetiver, literally because there's 3 types of Vetiver in it. And this one is Hemingway from the house of MASQUE Milano. Now what they decided to do with this fragrance is really dive in to the note of vetiver and explore. But not only did they do that, they decided to grab some notes that could be challenging and say, you get here, and let's go at it. In addition to the triple threat of vetiver in this fragrance, you also have some ginger in the top here, as well as some rhubarb. Now rhubarb gives it a little punch. Boom! A little punch there to make it stand out a bit more. Just like the last fragrance we talked about, I don't believe that this one is for the faint of heart when it comes down to fragrances or to the untrained nose. But if you are a bit more mature, more sophisticated in your approach to fragrances, this is one of those fragrances that you would want to try out. This one is all things vetiver. This one is earthy, it's dirty, okay, because it layers that in there. And at the bottom, at the very bottom of this fragrance is where you begin to get some of those clean, fresher takes on vetiver. But all in, you get all stages of vetiver with this fragrance. I think that this one here is, again, for that more sophisticated gentleman out there, one who's not looking for anything sweet. This one is dry, this one's slightly smoky, it's dirty, should I say. And this one is Hemingway from MASQUE Milano. Now let's take the note of vetiver on a twist for a bit, because we had two dry vetiver fragrances there, and let's hop into something a little bit more juicy and one that's a little lighter to wear and, well, easier on the nose. This one comes from BYREDO, and this one is BYREDO's Bada Free. Now this is one of those fragrances that really gets a lot of acclaim in Fragcom, and I believe it's done so for good reason. The vetiver for this fragrance is really housed in the base here, and as you begin to get there, you explore a lot of things here. Now this fragrance was really meant to symbolize Paris, France, 1920s. But what I'll tell you about this fragrance, because I obviously wasn't born in 1920s, is that this one is a rock star. All right, now what you get in this fragrance is going to be some Moroccan cedarwood. You obviously get that vetiver here. There's also going to be some neroli here, and this is one of those fragrances where neroli works for me. All right, this one does its job. It works, it's clean, it's fresh, and this fragrance does what BYREDO fragrances do so well to me, and that is wear light on the skin. They really are inoffensive in most cases, and this fragrance here is a standout scent, compliment worthy, and one that I feel should be in a collection. At the very least, you should get your nose on it. Look at that strong, powerful mist. We have 5 fragrances down and 5 fragrances to go, and this next fragrance is a fragrance that it's not really talked about much, but it's a fragrance that I think should be within the conversation. This fragrance comes from the house of Olfactive Studios, and this one is Ombre Indigo. Now the green juice on this thing tells you that this thing is about to Hulk smash. But no, man, all jokes aside, this fragrance is really just the embodiment of the play on vetiver. Now I don't get a super strong vetiver note here, but it is here within the mid of this fragrance, and you're gonna have that vetiver essence. On first spray of this fragrance, you're gonna get something that is fresh and slightly spicy with a tad bit of, well, I guess edibleness to it, if that on first spray of this fragrance, you're gonna get something that's fresh, slightly spicy, and almost edible. So I think that almost edible piece comes in account of the plum that's here in the top. You're gonna get some plum, you get some saffron, and then you get some floral notes there as well. As it begins to transition into the mid, that's where you get that vetiver essence, and it really provides some body and volume to the scent. To me, Ombre Indigo, it's bright, it's deep, and it also has this body and volume to it that is really second to none in most cases when you're looking for a fragrance like this within the Olfactive Studios house. So there you have it. Ombre Indigo has made today's list. Now the next fragrance on our list today was made by a perfumer that I'm like a super fan of, all right? Like I'm a stan of this perfume. I even follow this perfume on Instagram, which is rare. The fragrance that I'm talking about is Vetiver SANTAL, and this one is from a house named Marie Jane. Now, although I'm a super fan of this perfumer, I really can't pronounce the name well, and this one is from Sidonie Lancesière. I know I said that incorrectly, but she made Apple Brandy, she made Black Phantom, and a lot of Killian fragrances that I have learned to love over the years. Well, I didn't have to learn to love them. Like, I immediately loved them. And this is one of those fragrances here as well. Really, it's a different twist on Vetiver. This one starts out with the citron and bergamot there, and obviously the Vetiver is here. Now there's some sandalwood in addition to that Vetiver within this fragrance that provide this lactonic type of feel, as it's kind of creamy, milky feel there as well. But nonetheless, man, this is a fragrance that really does not get its just due. Well, I don't think many people talk about this fragrance house, and obviously I'm not running around on YouTube looking for it, but if they do, they are onto something. This is a solid scent, and obviously if you look into the perfumer within this fragrance and kind of what the body and work that they've been able to bring to the fragrance game, you already know that you should try this one out. So Vetiver SANTAL from Marie Jeanne. Now we are down to the final 3 fragrances on our list today, and this one here is it's a pour homme, which means it's for poor men. No, not at all. This fragrance is from a house that is traditionally expensive, but they decided to make a fragrance that is, well, more affordable. This fragrance comes from the house of ROJA, and this one is Vetiver Parfum Cologne from the house of ROJA. Man, this one is really, really nice. All right, this one is described as this blend between earth, smoke, and leather. All right, to me, this one really provides all of those components to it, as you would imagine with a ROJA scent there, okay? That's what you get in terms of your distribution. In addition to that smoke, that leather, and that woody earthiness there's a component of freshness within the scent that really sets this one in kind of a league of its own. The lemon provided within this scent almost comes off as like this lemon head, all right? Like the little lemon head candies. It comes off like that in a way, but really in a good way, not anything cheesy or anything as you would imagine from the house of ROJA. Right? You're not gonna get that with it. Now, according to the notes on this fragrance, you don't really begin to experience the Vetiver until the dry down here. But there's a ton of fragrance notes in the dry down, but there's still, you still begin to get this one quite well, that Vetiver is there. And it's done in a way that you can tell the earthiness and that aggression has been toned down a bit from Vetiver. And one of those safe wearing Vetiver fragrances, in my opinion, especially one of those ones when you're really gonna detect the Vetiver there, but not be pungent and strong and sting the nostrils. Vetiver Parfum Cologne from the house of ROJA on our list today. The next fragrance has a story with it, and it's this gourmand woody scent. And the story is that a beautiful man turned into a fat electrician, all right? And the fragrance is Fat Electrician from It Libre d'Orange, all right? Hopefully I pronounced that correctly. I'm not sure if I do that or not. But this one says this one is a semi-modern Vetiver fragrance. Now you're gonna get some Vetiver within this fragrance, as seeing that Vetiver is in the name. But the story, I thought probably should have been Fat Plumber. Because when I think of, never mind, all right? Never mind, all right? Listen, man, this here is really a nice fragrance and a different twist on Vetiver as some of these fragrance notes have been. Personally, I believe with this fragrance, they attempted to bring in that sweet component to Vetiver, as you have that tonka bean that's here alive and well, and I think that that's what provides that gourmand feel here. And to me, it's really a nice scent, and if you're looking to ease your way into the notes of Vetiver, then this is one of those scents that you could rock. In addition to that Vetiver, you have some chestnut, you have some myrrh, and you also have some, again, that vanilla. And the chestnut cream is what it's actually called here. But all in all, another great scent. I don't know if I have a full review on that one, so don't quote me there. Come back, check it. If I have it, I'll try to leave a link down below. All right, the following fragrance on our list today is fragrance that if you are in tune to my channel, then you already know this fragrance was going to make the list. This fragrance goes everywhere with me when I am moving. This is one of the few fragrances that gets put in the bag and ready to go, because this is a great office scent, and I can kind of approach any new place of business and smell amazing. All right, this fragrance comes from Tom Ford, traditionally the master of seduction, but in this case, he's going to be the master of Vetiver. All right, and probably the closest thing to rival this ROJA fragrance on the list today, which is Tom Ford Grey Vetiver. All right, Grey Vetiver is a fantastic scent. This one is a triple threat for me in terms of smell, performance, and compliment factor. It is all there. This fragrance, if you can get your hands on it, I would say do it, because this is like a catch-all scent. You can wear this one to the office and be great, wear this one casually and be great, wear this one to a day party sipping bottomless mimosas, all right, popping bottles. You'll be okay to do that, in my personal opinion. This one is within the Tom Ford Signature series, so it's not going to be super expensive, and you can find this thing at discounters for a discounted price. All right, so I'll leave some places for all of these fragrances linked and listed down below for you to check out if you care to try them. If you have any that I left off this list that you want to talk about, please feel free and leave them down below. I know some of you out there fancy vetiver fragrances like Vetiver 46 from Le Labo. There's also Vetiver Extraordinaire from Frederic Malle. You also have one of my personal favorites out there. I don't own a full bottle, so any fragrances that I have samples of, I try to leave them off of lists. But one of those ones that really stand out to me is going to be Vetiver Fatale, which is an amazing scent in my personal opinion, and a different twist on vetiver as well. Comment down below, let me know your thoughts and opinions on vetiver fragrances. As always, I'm your boy Big Beard B. Don't hit the like, comment, and subscribe. Tell a friend that we are back again, and you already know what I need you to do. Just hit the goddamn